This is a Hot Pie Media original.
I'm going to football nerd out on you for a second. Here's a cool idea. Really cool idea. And I'm an advocate, and I'm going to pitch it like crazy, although it's probably not going to happen. Let's back up a little bit. Arguably the greatest game of most of our lifetimes, plural, was this past year. I don't know that it's arguable. The best quarterback play anyone would ever see of two people with the hottest hand of any game, anytime. It was almost magical. The level of play was off the charts. The Bills versus the Chiefs. The Bills versus the Chiefs ended up with the Bills not getting the ball in overtime, which isn't all that surprising given the fact that whoever had the ball was just going to go and score because they were that hot. Football world freaks out. We wanted more. We wanted more. I get it. We want our show, particularly when the show is that good. Knowing that what the public wants is exactly what the NFL will give you. They responded immediately and decided, notice how quickly they decide, okay, next year we're going to start a process of overtime in the NFL. Hear me out. I know this is going to sound nerdy, but there's a really cool idea. Start the overtime, and each team will be guaranteed a possession. Oh, what's the problem with that? What's the big deal? It's more for us, right? I get it. The more of the show, the better for us. I brought up something, and I watched an interview last night with John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Ravens. Sharp football guy, been very successful. I had advocated him as being the next coach at Texas, but nobody listened to me. So he talked about it. He brought up the same points that I brought up, and that is, okay, so you want one more possession, then it turns into two, then it turns into three, then it turns, like, when is enough? They don't care about player safety. We just want our show, right? But he brought up the point that I've made, and that is, look, I want to see that guy get the ball back, and I want to see them to get the ball back. And so it opens the door to another 30, 40 minutes of football, conceivably, where they just keep going back and forth until somebody stops, right? Now you're going to say, well, Jeff, we'll deal with that when it comes. Okay, fair enough. I don't, from the player's perspective, I don't think it's a great idea. They didn't have much of a say. I'm not sure it's all. Yes, that one game was entertaining, but the coin toss is not an absolute guarantee that one team is going to win. In fact, statistically, it's been proven that it's 15 to 20% advantage. So it's not quite what people are making it out to be. We took this one amazing game and said, we want more of that, when the truth of the matter is most of the time, overtime does not look like that. Hang on. What's a better idea? I think this is so cool. I find myself nerding out trying to come up with all the different variables. The term is spot and choose. Here's the proposal, and this was proposed by John Harbaugh and the Ravens. It won't be done, but it's cool. It works like this. Spot and choose. You start the extra session, okay? Let's use Bills Chiefs as the ultimate overtime game, ultimate regulation game, and now the ultimate overtime game. So let's take spot and choose, a term, and let's go to overtime, because I like this. The extra session, one team chooses where the first drive of overtime will begin. The other team chooses whether to play offense or defense. John McClellan is the co-founder and creator of ATX Hot Sauce, now in all 50 states and several retail outlets as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to let this social media rock star chef walk us through 4 different sauces, and then I'll taste, and we'll tell everyone why they should buy. You can give the science behind these, and then I'll make the simple recommendation. Go to atxhotsauce.com. All right,
I don't think anybody's heard the website.
Yeah, I know.
By you, Jeff, but it is atxhotsauce.com.
I'll say
I got that one right.
45 times, atxhotsauce.com. So let's do it.
I brought 4 flavors here, and we're going to test your palate today.
Okay.
And I only brought 4 because I didn't think you could handle 5 or 6.
Yes,
probably a smart move. Yeah. And so the first one we're going to try here is called Beat Heat. And just like the name implies, it has beets in it. It's made with red Fresno peppers. Red Fresnos are red peppers that are they're hotter than a jalapeno and a little bit less than a serrano. So not super hot here, just a lot of good, really good flavor. So we're going to start with this one, and then we're going to move up the chain.
Okay. I've had the beet heat, but okay.
Yeah, we're going to try it though.
It goes well with a cab. All right, Jeff's savoring beet.
I'll even do it with you, so that should be all right. Now remember, it is hot sauce.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's hot sauce. Trust me, man.
Wait,
is
that one hot to you?
No, a little.
Yeah. The great thing with the fermentation process is you get a bunch of the flavor right up front.
Yeah.
And then the heat comes, but then it dissipates pretty quickly, especially with the red Fresnos. This is not a very spicy one, but it is a very tasty one. Goes on great on sandwiches.
Beet heat.
Beet heat. B-E-E-T. Heat.
All right. Go to atxhotsauce.com.
That's right.
Okay. I'm the Bills. I win the coin toss. You're going to say, well, Jeff, that's stupid. Wouldn't I tell them to put the ball on the 1? Okay. Referee, want the ball in south number 1. I want it on the 1 yard line. Chiefs go, okay, offense. There you go. Game on. So let's say you pick the 10 yard line. Maybe the wind's blowing. Say we want to play defense. I don't know. Whoever then scores wins. It's sudden death. But you have this level, this amazing level of strategy, in the moment strategy, not some chart, because you got to figure out the wind. You got to figure out offense, defense. You got to figure out which end of the field you want the ball. Everything comes into play in one instant decision at the coin toss. So I believe the way it's proposed, from what I understand, is whoever wins the toss, or I don't know if it's win or lose, you have to decide first where the ball is going. Most people would say, well, man, I'm going to put it on the 1 yard line every time. Okay, then Patrick Mahomes is going to play offense on the 1. Well, and Jeff, under what circumstance would somebody say, we'll play defense? I tell you why. The wind's blowing 25 miles per hour, and they're saying, okay, we'll play defense. We hold you, you punt, we get it at the 35, we go down and score. I think it's really cool. Now, there were 2 others that were proposed. One is you'd play 10 minutes, period. This is what they do in soccer. I mean, the NFL took kind of the model of soccer where you're saying sooner or later the game has to end. Sooner or later you have to go to penalty kicks and just end the game, right? That's what soccer does because it just has to end. But they actually have overtime periods where you play the full period. I think that's the best way to do it, but you would need to expand the roster in the NFL, and the owners don't want to do that because they don't want to pay more. So the other was the 2 teams would play another 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And the third proposal the Ravens brought to the table was this spot and choose thing, which I think is so cool. I mean, I'd love to be the person designated with deciding spot and choose. I mean, can you imagine? First of all, it doesn't matter what the data says for the previous 9 games. You got to make that decision based on the conditions of that day in that moment. So, I mean, the Bills say, they're on the 1. Put the ball on the 1. Okay, we're going to find out if the Chiefs go 75 yards and kick a field goal, or 99 yards and score a touchdown. On that day, think about it. Whoever had won that toss, if spot and choose were in play on that day, you got a real decision to make. On one hand, you would say, okay, well, I want them on the 1. On that day, give either one of those teams the ball at the 1, they're going to score. That's how good they were that day. Now John Harbaugh did an interview about this and brought it up, and it's been floated before. I've heard about this before, and it's not going to probably not see the light of day. But you have to admit, I mean, you're sitting there having a few beers, watching a game. Imagine how cool that debate is. What do we do? Where do we put the ball? We want the ball. We want to put them on the 1. What do we want to do? How's the wind? How hot is their quarterback? I mean, all this stuff comes into play. in about a 3-minute decision leading up to the coin toss.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all of our other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home online at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.